to deal with my family nagging me to get married. I found a girl online to prepare for a fake marriage. Who would have thought that when I was registering at the Civil Affairs Bureau, the staff looked at me with a face full of contempt. You're already married, and you're here to register again. Don't you know bigamy is a crime? After leaving the Civil Affairs Bureau, I looked at the printed marriage certificate. A little dazed. The girl next to me also looked regretful. Mr. Fang, you're already married. Why waste money hiring me? Then she left with a "the deposit is non-refundable" and ran off. I was stunned on the spot, still not back to my senses. Me, a guy who has never even held a girl's hand, how could I possibly be married? I looked at the printout in my hand again. The man in the ID photo was indeed me. As for the woman, her name is Su Qingyue. She looks beautiful, but I don't know her at all. I took out my phone, took a picture of the printout, and sent it via WeChat to an account with a black avatar. Help me investigate who she is. The other party replied immediately, received. Only then did I suppress the confusion in my heart, then got on a beat-up electric scooter, and slowly drove into a luxurious villa area. Just as I parked in a corner, I heard the maids gossiping behind me. Who is he? He's so handsome. Shh. Don't talk nonsense. He's the master's unacknowledged illegitimate son. His mother is a mistress. Back then, when the mistress was about to give birth, she came to the house with her big belly demanding justice. It ended with both women giving birth on the same day. That old woman is so shameless. For so many years, she has always found excuses to stay and not leave. He's more sensible. He moved out during middle school. He hasn't been back for years. I wonder what's going on today. I frowned and pretended not to hear their conversation, and walked into the living room. My mother, Li Ruyan, was waiting at the door. When she saw me enter, she anxiously pulled me. Upstairs. Go see your brother first. Oh. Did you get the marriage certificate? I replied calmly. Got it. Although the bride was swapped, I guess it still counts as getting it. That's good. You must remember your place. Su Feixiu is your older brother's fiancé. A top-tier wealthy family like that is not something an illegitimate child like you can dream of. Only your older brother is worthy of her. Hearing these words, a hint of sarcasm flashed in my eyes. Su Feixiu is the eldest granddaughter of the main branch of the Su family, the #1 clan in Haicheng. She pursued me for 4 years in college, but got together with my brother Fang Baodan on graduation day. After Li Ruyan found out, she demanded that I find someone to marry immediately, to completely sever any possibility with Su Feixiu. It's been like this since I was a child. Whenever there was a slight conflict of interest between me and Fang Baodan, Li Ruyan would demand that I give in unconditionally. Because I am an illegitimate child, my very existence is a sin. I was brainwashed when I was young, feeling that it was natural to endure these things. But the me of today has long since awakened. I looked at Li Ruyan with a sarcastic expression. I've already said it. This is the last time. The trouble was caused by Li Ruyan. To see father every day. She's the one who's freeloading at the Fang residence and refuses to leave. She's also the one who wants to curry favor with Fang Baodan. I won't use my life to pay for her mistakes. This time, I am taking the opportunity to repay her for giving birth to me and cut all ties. Li Ruyan grew impatient. I know. After speaking, she led me to Fang Baodan's room. After Fang Baodan saw me, he greeted me. Nanju, why are you here? Before I could even open my mouth, Li Ruyan quickly answered, Baodan. Nanju got married today. Fang Baodan was surprised. So fast? Who's the bride? Is she better than Sister Feixiu? Li Ruyan said sarcastically. How could she be? In all of Haixing, you can't find anyone with a more noble status than Miss Su. Who could he possibly find that's good? She's probably just some street hooligan. He doesn't even dare to bring her home, afraid her wretched poverty would dirty your eyes. Fang Baodan's voice was a bit sour. How could that be? Nanju is so handsome, otherwise Sister Feixiu wouldn't have pursued him for 4 years. What's the use of being handsome? With his status, only some unknown trash picked up from somewhere would agree to marry him. Miss Su just treated him like a toy, just a passing fling. Only Baodan, your status is worthy of Miss Su. I frowned. The appearance and aura of the woman in the photo. How could she be associated with hooligans and poverty? But I couldn't be bothered to refute these meaningless words. At this moment, Fang Baodan finished putting on his watch. He was about to put on his leather shoes, but found his shirt was too tight, making it inconvenient to bend over. Fang Baodan smiled, and looked at me. Seeing this, Li Ruyan quickly gave me a shove. You useless thing, why are you still so clueless? Your brother is having trouble, hurry up and help him put on his shoes. Here we go again. Li Ruyan, does she really think I am still that naive little boy from childhood, who doesn't know how to fight back when bullied? My eyes turned cold, my voice tinged with impatience. You can help him yourself. Fang Nanju, what's with that attitude? You think you've grown wings just because you got married? Your wife is just a gold digger, won't you still have to rely on the Fang family in the future? Li Ruyin raised her voice and continued to scold. If you don't build a good relationship with your brother now, there will come a day when you and your wife have to come begging him. Besides, the Fang family raised you, you should be a workhorse for the Fang family. Before I could retort, my father, Fang Wenzong, appeared at the door. He frowned. An honored guest is arriving soon. What are you all arguing about here? Fang Bodan said nothing, but Li Ruyan started crying and complaining. Isn't it because of this wretched son? Today he got his certificate, and now he doesn't see me as his mother anymore. Hearing this, Fang Wenzong, his gaze fell upon me. You're married? Why didn't you let the family introduce someone to you? Do you have the marriage certificate? Let me see it. Faced with this estranged father's concern, I hesitated for a moment, then took the printout from my pocket. The next second, Li Ruyin snatched it away. Let me see what your hooligan wife's name is. Fang Bodan asked curiously. Dad, who is coming? You seem so nervous. Fang Wenzong thought of the guest, and immediately felt the family was honored. Then, he excitedly said a name. Su Qingyu. After hearing this name, I was immediately stunned. Seeing our confused expressions, Fang Wenzong explained with a proud look. It's normal that you don't know her. This person is very mysterious. Even I have never met her. She is Su Feishu's youngest aunt. Only 28 years old, but she has already become the current true authority of the Su family. Li Ruyan couldn't help but exclaim, doesn't that make her an even better match than Su Feishu? Bodan, the one in power, is much better than the eldest granddaughter of the main branch. Fang Wenzong said angrily, what nonsense are you talking about? Miss Yu is already married. I narrowed my eyes. Already married? If the person on the marriage certificate is really her, then it seems Su Qingye must know what happened. Li Ruyan was a little disappointed. Who is her husband? He's even luckier than Bodan. My eyes immediately stared straight at Fang Wenzong, but I heard him say, I don't know. I heard that she and her husband are not fond of socializing. Fang Wenzong frowned and thought, I don't know why she suddenly decided to visit today. The Su family is the #1 wealthy family in Haicheng, and the person in power holds an even more revered status. The Fang family's standing is only upper middle class. This marriage was already Fang Bodan marrying up. It would be rare enough for the head of the Su family to attend the wedding, so why would she personally visit for the engagement ceremony? Li Ruyan stated decisively, it must be because Bodan is too outstanding, that he has attracted the attention of the Su family. After saying that, she shoved the unread printout back into my hands. Then she took Fang Bodan's hand, her face filled with excitement. I sneered. She seems more concerned than Mrs. Fang, his actual mother. At this moment, the butler came upstairs to remind them. Sir, the Su family is about to arrive. Hearing this, Fang Wenzong hurriedly turned and went downstairs. As he passed by me, he casually said, You haven't been home in a long time. Stay for a celebratory drink before you go. I nodded in agreement. I wanted to stay and see who this Su Qingyu really was. In the room, Li Ruyan looked at Fang Bodan. As he prepared to marry the rich young lady, her eyes filled with uncontrollable joy and satisfaction. More than 20 years ago, if it weren't for the appearance of Mrs. Fang, Nan Jingshu, the one who married Fang Wenzong could only have been her. She hated Nan Jingshu, so she deliberately caused trouble, gave birth on the same day as her, and swapped the two babies in the hospital. Now, her son is finally about to have a bright future, and Nan Jingshu even has to prepare a generous gift for her son. While Fang Nanju can only, with his status as an illegitimate son, marry a hooligan girl without a penny to his name. Downstairs, I lazily leaned against the dark corner by the stairs, staring at the door, quietly waiting for the Su family to arrive. I don't know how long it had been, when Mrs. Su was helped downstairs by a maid. She was wearing a purple cheongsam, her figure slightly thin, exuding an air of leisure, mixed with a noble and aloof temperament. The maid said in a low voice, Madam, your health isn't good. Perhaps it's better if you don't come down. Mrs. Fang coughed and shook her head. No. On such an important day for Bodan, I, as his mother, cannot miss it. I looked at Mrs. Fang's back, my eyes filled with affection. It's ironic. Mrs. Fang, the person who should have the most right to hate me, was my only warmth in the Fang family. When I was young, Li Ruyan often forgot to feed me. As soon as I could walk, I, often, out of hunger, rummaged through trash cans for food. After Mrs. Fang caught me once, she would regularly every day leave some food for me in the flower garden. That continued for a full 12 years. If not for Mrs. Fang's kindness, I probably would have starved to death long ago. Watching Mrs. Fang gradually walk away, hearing her occasional coughs, I frowned with worry. Just then, there was a sudden noise at the door. The Su family has arrived. Fang Wenzong and Mrs. Fang went to the door to greet them. After a few greetings, they made way, and a large group of people entered through the door. I immediately recognized Su Qingyu's face. She was more beautiful than in the photo. As if sensing my gaze, she suddenly looked over. In that instant, our eyes met. Her sharp gaze made my heart skip a beat. I wanted to understand the emotion in her eyes, but Su Qingyue had already averted her gaze. This left me a little confused. Does this mean she knows me? Or doesn't know me? Fang Wenzong smiled obsequiously. Miss Su, where is your husband? Didn't he come with you? The moment these words were spoken, I felt that. Su Qingyu seemed to glance at me again with a hidden meaning. She said nonchalantly, it's not convenient for him. Several people chatted as they walked towards the living room. My old classmate who pursued me for 4 years, Su Feixiu, followed behind. The elders. She was wearing a formal dress, looking more mature and composed than in her college days. She didn't see me. Absent-mindedly whispering with Fang Boden, everyone gathered around and invited Su Qingyue to take the main seat and began to discuss the marriage between the two. Only then did I step out from the shadows. I stood there quietly, watching the bustling scene in the living room. Suddenly, my arm was pulled. Li Ruyan scolded in a low voice. Fang Nanju, what are you still doing here? Have you still not given up on Su Feixiu? Let me tell you. She is your sister-in-law now. I pulled my arm away from her, my face filled with ridicule. Don't worry, I have no interest in being the other man. Mr. Fang told me to stay for a celebratory drink. Ever since I found out, I've always called Fang Wenzone Mr. Fang. Li Ruyan was so angry she gritted her teeth. That was just him being polite. Did you actually believe it? I see you really don't know your place. On an occasion like today, even I can't go and embarrass the Fang family. Is an illegitimate child like you worthy of sitting at the table? Get lost. I frowned impatiently, and was about to speak when, out of the corner of my eye, I saw Su Qingyue stand up. She pointed at her phone, then walked towards the balcony. She must be taking a call. My eyes lit up. I mumbled something to Li Ruyan, and walked out of the living room door. Then, I changed direction, and headed towards the balcony. I had just gotten close to the woman on the phone, when she hung up. Then she looked at me with ice-cold eyes. My steps faltered. Facing her dangerous gaze, I suddenly smirked, and tentatively called out, Wifey. I stared at Su Qingyu, observing her reaction. But after hearing this address, the coldness emanating from her intensified. She looked at me coldly, without a hint of emotional fluctuation. Immediately after, she turned to leave. I quickly stepped forward to block her path. Su Qingyu frowned slightly. Move. You don't know me? Su Qingyu looked down on me. Should I know you? Ever since entering the Fang residence, she had felt an unusual gaze following her. That gaze was direct. Unlike the others, whose fawning was nauseating, Su Qingyue had glanced at me a few more times. When she was discovered, not only did I not shy away, but I continued to look at her openly. I originally thought I wasn't like those men, whose faces revealed their greed when they saw her, but unexpectedly, I was even bolder than them, calling her wifey right off the bat. Su Qingyu's expression grew more impatient. Sir, I am married. Please have some self-respect. I was a bit stunned. This person clearly doesn't know me, but she says she's married. Could the Civil Affairs Bureau have registered the wrong information? I asked, may I ask who your husband is? It has nothing to do with you. Those same ice-cold words again. I took out the copy of the marriage certificate and showed it to her. Miss Su, the woman on here must be you, right? Su Qingyu looked at the copy, her eyes stopping on the man's name, Fang Nanju. When she looked up again, she said sarcastically, Mr. Fang, an original copy isn't that expensive. Is it? If you're going to forge one, at least be a little more professional. With that, Su Qingyu didn't return to the living room, but strode from the small garden towards the parking lot. I chased after her, wanting to explain everything, but 2 bodyguards in black blocked my way. I stopped in my tracks, and shouted at her retreating figure, Miss Su, this document is real. If you don't believe me, you can go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to check. Su Qingyu didn't stop. She got in the car and left immediately. Her personal assistant stayed behind. Returning to the living room, I ran into Fang Boden. Fang Boden had just seen me harassing Su Qingyu, but didn't hear what we said. Now, seeing Su Qingyu leave, and me chasing after her on my scooter, he immediately asked, why did Miss Su leave? Did someone offend her? The personal assistant smiled and said, CEOSU had something to attend to, so she had to leave early. Please inform the elders of your family, Mr. Fang. Fang Boden immediately nodded, and politely saw the assistant off. After seeing the person off, Fang Wenzong asked worriedly, why did Miss Su leave? Was our hospitality lacking in some way? Fang Boden thought of Su Feixiu's dazed expression today, how she kept looking around as if searching for someone. Then he thought of my handsome face, and he clenched his fists. A glint in his eyes, he reported. I saw Nanju harassing Miss Su. Miss Su left in a rage, and she left a message. What message? Miss Su said that Dad should teach his family members a lesson. Fang Bowden continued. With Nanju acting like this, won't the Su family think our family has no breeding? Fang Wenzong's face immediately turned pale. I had just ridden my scooter out of the villa area when I lost her. While I was frustrated, my phone suddenly rang. After answering, a female voice came from the other side. Big boss, I've found the information on Su Qingyue. Su Qingyue is the second daughter of the old master of the Su family. There are rumors that she has a violent personality, cold and ruthless. That's why she was sent abroad since she was a child. Everyone thought the Su family would be handed over to the eldest son, who is Su Feishu's father. No one expected that. Su Qingyue suddenly returned to the country last week, and using some unknown ruthless methods, forced the old master to abdicate and directly took control of the Su group. I frowned. Investigate her contact methods and schedule. Go find her later. Hanging up the phone, I rubbed my temples. This is a bit troublesome. With a status like Su Qingyue's, she has bodyguards escorting her when she goes out. It's not easy to meet her. I shouldn't have slipped up today and called her wifey, making her leave in anger. I sighed, started the old scooter, and slowly headed home. Leaving the bustling city center, I arrived at a slum in the suburbs. When I moved out of the Fang house in middle school, I didn't have much money, so I could only rent an old house here. I got used to it later, so I never moved. When I was just one turn away from home, on the side of the road, an old woman in her 80s or 90s suddenly rushed out. I quickly braked, almost hitting her. I thought she was trying to scam me, but I quickly noticed something unusual. Although the old woman was small and thin, she was well dressed and didn't look like an ordinary person. She had a sign hanging around her neck with a contact phone number written on it. At the bottom, it was noted, if the old woman gets lost, please call the contact number. There will be a reward. As expected, Alzheimer's disease. I wonder which family's elderly person has gone missing. I immediately took out my phone and dialed the number on the sign. The dazed old woman in front of me suddenly reacted and grabbed my wrist. Her cloudy eyes suddenly lit up. Grandson-in-law, you are my grandson-in-law. The corner of my mouth twitched. Single for 22 years. How did I gain another wife? Is the Civil Affairs Bureau having a wholesale today? I found it amusing, so I asked casually, Grandma, who is your granddaughter? The old woman frowned and thought, what's my granddaughter's name? Oh, right, Su Qing. The old woman opened her mouth. Her name is Su. Su, what was it? The name she just remembered. She forgot it again the moment she tried to say it. The old woman became a little anxious. Her lips kept moving, but she just couldn't get those few words out. Grandma. Don't rush. It's okay if you can't remember. I comforted her and then made a phone call. At this moment, on a street not far away, Su Qingyue was sitting in a Bentley. Her expression was grim. Her subordinate Liu Hua beside her didn't dare to breathe too loudly. It was my fault for not taking good care of her, letting the old madam get lost. She didn't say anything, her whole body exuding a cold aura. The old madam was usually in a daze most of the time. Who would have thought that she would suddenly be more lucid today, and after sending everyone away, she secretly slipped out. They only discovered after checking the surveillance cameras that the old madam had actually taken a bus to the suburbs by herself. This place was quite dilapidated. Many streets didn't have cameras installed. They could only conduct a large-scale search. Just then, her phone suddenly rang. Su Qingyu immediately answered the call. An indifferent male voice came from the other end. Hello, your old lady is in my hands now. The atmosphere in the car instantly froze. The air seemed to drop by several degrees. Everyone immediately sprang into action. Someone prepared to call the police, while Liu Hua was tracking the source of the incoming call signal. Su Qingyu's eyes were sharp. Her voice was as cold as ice. How much money do you want? Just kidding. The young man's voice sounded a bit punchable. I just want to tell you, you need to take good care of the elderly from now on. Then I gave my address and hung up. Liu Hua let out a sigh of relief. This kind person is quite mischievous. As for Su Qingyue, she raised her eyes slightly. She suddenly felt that the lazy voice on the phone was somehow a bit familiar. 5 minutes later, they arrived at the old lady's location, but the young man who had called was long gone. Only a policeman was there with the old lady, waiting. Su Qingyue asked her grandmother, why did you come here? The old madam said mysteriously, I came to find my grandson-in-law. He lives near here. Su Qingyu paused for a moment, sighed and said, Grandma, there's no grandson-in-law. Impossible. I've already met him. The old madam continued to complain, that heartless boy. He handed me over to the police and then disappeared. Oh, right. Let me borrow your phone. Su Qingyue handed her the phone. The old lady immediately took from her contacts the number that had just called, and wrote it down in a small notebook. I finally have a way to contact my grandson-in-law. Early the next morning, I received a call from my university advisor. As soon as I entered Professor Liang's office, I found that Fang Bida and Li Ruyan were also there. I narrowed my eyes. Fang Bida and I both study at Hai Then University, the best university in the area. Fang Bida got in with excellent scores. As for me, because I had started a company, and it was inconvenient to manage it remotely, and also because I couldn't outshine Fang Bida, I intentionally suppressed my scores to get into the least popular major, energy and power. But unexpectedly, the concept of new energy suddenly became hot 2 years ago. Fang Bida immediately transferred departments and became my classmate again. It's normal for Fang Bida to be here. But why is Li Ruyan here? Just as I thought of this, I saw Professor Liang with a serious expression. Fang Nanju, your eligibility for the postgraduate recommendation has been cancelled. While I was still stunned, my advisor continued, your mother said your character is poor, your background is dishonorable, you are not qualified for the recommendation. Is there some misunderstanding between you and your mother? Hurry up and apologize to your mother. You have a very bright future. Don't ruin your prospects because of a moment of anger. When Fang Bida heard this, he first let out a sigh. Professor Liang, Fang Nanzu's mother is also doing this for his own good. He looked at me. You've offended Miss Su. Miss Su has declared that she will make you disappear from Hai Then. It took me a moment to understand. The Miss Su he was talking about was Su Qing Yue, but I only said a few words to her. Besides, before I left, yesterday, she didn't seem angry at all. On the contrary, Fang Bida was a habitual liar. While I was thinking, Fang Bida walked up to me. Fang Nanju, this is the plane ticket Dad bought for you. He told you to go abroad and hide for a while. Otherwise, the Fang family won't be able to protect you. A hint of mockery flashed in my eyes. Isn't it just because you are afraid it'll implicate the Fang family? Seeing that I didn't take it, Fang Bida took out a bank card. He said with a sincere expression, are you worried you won't be able to survive abroad? Here's 50,000 yuan. Consider it my personal living expense allowance for you. Go ahead and use it first. If it's not enough, I'll give you more from my allowance later. You are the great young master of the Fang family, and you only have 50,000 yuan? I found it ridiculous. At this moment, Li Ruyan snatched the bank card from Fang Bida's hand. Bida, what are you doing? The Fang family helping him buy a plane ticket is already benevolent enough. She looked at me and ordered, pack your things and go abroad. Immediately. I've already processed your withdrawal from the university. I looked at her coldly. On what authority do you make decisions for me? On the fact that I am your mother. Besides, with your academic record, I am afraid even graduating will be difficult. It's better to go out and work to earn money sooner. Professor Liang immediately spoke up to refute her. Fang Nanzu's mother, you've misunderstood. Student Fang. During his time at school, before he could finish, he was interrupted by Li Ruyan. Professor, you don't need to speak up for him. Do you think I don't know what kind of person he is? Isn't he pursuing postgraduate studies just because Bida is? He doesn't even take a look at himself. What he amounts to. What right does he have to compare himself to Bida? Professor Liang was at a loss for words, then looked at Fang Bida in surprise. I remember that you weren't recommended, and you didn't take the postgraduate entrance exam either. Fang Bida smiled, and said humbly, I am a special admission. If an advisor particularly values a certain student, they are allowed to recruit them personally, on the condition that it's a famous professor. When the professor asked Fang Bida which professor it was, he put on a humble act, it's Dr. Nan. His research and development on clean fuel hydrogen energy has successfully obtained a patent. He was awarded the title of doctor. When I heard that, I looked at him with some surprise. Dr. Nan? How come I didn't know that I wanted to specially recruit Fang Bida? Professor Liang was also surprised. You actually know Dr. Nan? Fang Bida smiled. It's quite a fateful story. Back then, my mother sponsored Dr. Nan's education. So after Dr. Nan became successful, he came to our house. He said my mother was his lifesaver. Over the past few years, he has always provided technical support to our family's company. I am sure he won't refuse any of my requests. I raised an eyebrow. When I was young at the Fang household, I was able to grow up thanks to Madame Fang's care. Therefore, after I became capable, I contacted Madame Fang under the name of Dr. Nan. In order to have a reason to repay Madame Fang for raising me, I made up the identity of being sponsored. All these years, whenever the company under Madame Fang's name had any technical issues, I would always help for free. But since when did I ever agree to grant Fang Bida's every wish? Such a braggart. But Professor Liang believed it was true. Which school is Dr. Nan currently working at? Fang Bida replied, I've promised the dean that I would invite Dr. Nan to teach at our school. Professor Liang was overjoyed. then looked at me. Nanju, your research direction is similar to Dr. Nan's. I will introduce you to him then. If Dr. Nan is willing to speak up for you, perhaps there's still hope for your recommendation. Fang Beta pretended to be worried. Professor Liang, is that okay? The Su family is the richest in Haidan. Every year, they provide our school with a lot of research funding. Professor Liang didn't mind. Dr. Nan is highly sought after right now. I heard that University H abroad and University N have both sent him invitations. Many businesses want to invest in him. If Dr. Nan is willing to step in, the school will definitely choose Dr. Nan. Fang Beta deliberately sighed. But Dr. Nan is doing this out of respect for my mother. If it were me, he would definitely help with all his might. But Nanjo is my father's illegitimate son. My mother and he are at odds with each other. Nanjo, how about I go? Asked Dr. Nan for you. Hearing that, I bluntly refused him coldly. Right now, Fang Beta was like a dancing clown. The corners of my lips curled up. I said directly to Professor Liang. Professor Liang, you know, I never wanted to pursue postgraduate studies in the first place. Professor Liang was stunned, his face filled with regret. He was the one who discovered my talent in this major, so he forced me to get the recommendation. I didn't expect things to come to this. His eyes were a little red. Then he'll write you a letter of recommendation for a job. Li Ruyan pouted. Don't waste your efforts. You've offended Miss Su, and you still want to find a job in Haidan? Dream on. Professor Liang was angry. I don't believe anyone can cover the sky with one hand in Haidan. If you really can't find a job, then come be my teaching assistant. Hearing that, a surge of warmth welled up in my heart. Then I explained, Professor, it's just a small misunderstanding between me and Miss S.U. It'll be fine once it's cleared up, you don't need to worry. But Fang Bida clenched his fists. He didn't understand. Why? As an outstanding student, Professor Liang only valued the achievements of a mediocre person like Fang Nanju. Fang Beta was furious inside. He glanced at Li Ruyan and spoke up. Nanju, are you still planning to go and bother Miss Su? She's already married. It's not right for you to do that. As expected, Li Ruyan flew into a rage and then slapped me squarely across the face. I looked at Li Ruyan in disbelief. I never expected her to dare to do it in front of Professor Liang. To suddenly strike out, Li Ruyan didn't show any sign of guilt. She just pointed at my nose and scolded. I haven't seen you in a few years. It seems you've forgotten the family rules. Apologize to your brother immediately, and promise you'll never go see the Su family again. The warmth in my eyes gradually faded, leaving only coldness. It seems the last thing I said that day. She didn't take it to heart at all. She still sees me as the obedient child who endures everything, the fool who always worships Fang Beta. If reason doesn't work, then don't blame me for being disrespectful. Fang Beta stood aside watching, a sense of triumph rising in his heart. When we were young, I bowed and scraped before him, never talking back when scolded, never fighting back when hit. Later, when I moved out, and we met again at university, I clearly still had that impoverished look, yet I dared to stand tall in front of him. Has he forgotten his place after not being beaten for a few years? Today, hell let Li Ruyan teach me a lesson they'll never forget. Just as Fang Beta thought this, he saw me slowly walk up to him. Just as he smirked, thinking I was going to apologize to him, I suddenly looked up and threw a powerful punch at his face. Fang Beta's mind went blank. He was momentarily stunned by the blow. Meanwhile, Li Ruyan roared and rushed forward. Fang Nanju, how dare you? I turned my head abruptly, my entire body exuding a bloodthirsty, murderous aura. Li Ruyan was stunned into place by my appearance. To you, what do you want to do? You ungrateful wolf. I am your mother. Are you going to lay a hand on me too? My voice was icy, cold, word by word. If you as a mother are not benevolent, then don't blame me as a son for being unfilial. From now on, don't point your fingers at my life anymore. Otherwise, if you do anything to me again, I will return it twofold on Fang Beta. I retracted my gaze, bowed deeply to Professor Liang, thanking him for his care over the past 4 years, and said that I would return after settling my affairs. Leaving those words behind, I turned and left without any hesitation. It wasn't until my figure disappeared from the room that Li Ruyan slowly came back to her senses. At this moment, I had just stepped out of the school gate when Ji Wei called. Boss, I've investigated it thoroughly. I understand why Su Qingyue told outsiders she was married, but doesn't know you. The Su family looks magnificent on the outside, such a large clan, but the internal struggles have been very fierce in recent years. The old man favors the eldest son's family, and wants to hand the Su family over to the main branch. Su Qingyue, as the youngest daughter, has always been suppressed. A few years ago, the old man chose several unreliable men for Su Qingyue, planning a marriage alliance. The commotion at that time was irreconcilable, until Su Qingyue said she had registered her marriage with a husband from an ordinary family. This matter finally subsided. Speaking of this husband of hers, he's quite interesting. He has never appeared in front of anyone, nor has he ever attended any of the Su family's parties. In short, there is only one truth, and that is, Ji Yue drew out her words, deliberately being mysterious. But before the result was even spoken, I had a sudden realization. Have you found her schedule and contact information? Ji Yue was choked up, saying awkwardly, her schedule for the next few days. I'll send it to you right away. As for her personal phone number, it's fine if you can't find it. I'll go intercept her. For someone of Su Qingyue's status, her personal phone number is top secret. It's normal not to be able to find it. Ji Yue immediately got excited for gossip. She's surrounded by bodyguards. It's not easy to get close. Are you planning to use force? Or should you be more discreet lately? A wicked smile appeared on my lips. In front of the Su Group building, I adjusted the delivery uniform I was wearing, and walked in holding a package. I said to the receptionist, "This is a package for Miss Su. It requires her personal signature." The receptionist, after calling the secretary's office, allowed me to go upstairs. Entering the executive elevator, I went to the top floor, the 88th floor. Stepping out of the elevator, the view immediately opened up. An entire secretarial department with over 100 people working here, all just to serve Su Qingyue alone. I followed the secretary who came to get me, and smoothly arrived at the CEO's office. I knocked on the door. A pleasant voice came from inside, "Come in." Just when I thought I would smoothly meet Su Qingyue, a figure suddenly blocked my way. Special Assistant Liu Hua frowned at me. "Mr. Fang, why is it you?" Liu Hua's expression was very grim. He still remembered me bothering Su Qingyue at the Fang residence yesterday. Su Qingyue didn't hold it against me, and today I was pushing my luck, pretending to be a delivery man to come all the way here to bother her. He waved over 2 bodyguards. "What's going on?" "No identity check. Can any Tom, Dick, or Harry get to the top floor?" "Throw him out immediately." My expression didn't change. "What do you mean? Does the SU Group look down on us delivery workers?" Liu Hua sneered. "You're good at playing the victim. We respect all jobs. But are you a delivery worker? Do you have a delivery worker's ID?" As soon as Liu Hua finished speaking, an employee ID card was held out in front of him. I gave a half smile. "It's actually real." His face stiffened. Then he thought of something, and sneered. "Don't tell me you just registered today?" The employee ID in front of him was opened, and on it was the registration date. Liu Hua was stunned. "A delivery worker from 8 years ago? Can I work while studying?" My voice was lazy, as I called towards the door. "Miss Su, can you cooperate with my work now?" A melodious voice came from the room. "Let him in." I gave Liu Hua a provocative glance, and seeing that he was about to bristle, I slipped past him and went inside. Su Qingyue's office was in a minimalist luxury style, with black, white, and gray tones. The place looked like it had no warmth at all. After signing the document in her hand, Su Qingyue finally looked up, her bright eyes showing no emotion. I pointed to the delivery slip. "Miss Su, sign here." Her gaze lingered on me for a moment, then she picked up the pen to sign. At this moment, I suddenly spoke, uttering shocking words. "Miss Su, you're not actually married, are you?" The woman's pen paused. She suddenly looked up, her icy gaze locked onto me. I knew I had guessed correctly. When registering information at the Civil Affairs Bureau, you need to fill in your personal information by hand. There couldn't possibly be a mistake. Su Qingyue had announced to outsiders that she was married, but she didn't know me at all. After GU's investigation, the only possible truth was that Su Qingyue, in order to deal with her family's pressure to marry, had fabricated a fake husband. She had never been to the Civil Affairs Bureau, so she didn't know that we were married. I said seriously, "Miss Su, I know. What I am saying might sound unbelievable, but we are really married." Su Qingyue slowly sat up straight with dignity, a mocking expression on her face. "Mr. Fang, don't waste your efforts anymore. Even if I am not married, I wouldn't marry you just to discuss Su Feishu." I was slightly stunned. She only knew about the past between me and Su Feishu, and thought I was looking for her for revenge, which is why she didn't believe my words. I hurriedly explained, "I am not looking for you because of Su Feishu. I want to divorce you. I am not interested in your romantic troubles." Su Qingyue interrupted me, quickly signed her name, and handed the delivery slip to me. "Don't bother me again. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite." Hearing that, I also got a little annoyed. "Aren't you already being impolite to me? You've already declared you'll make me disappear from Haidan." Su Qingyue frowned. "When did I?" Before she could finish her words, her phone suddenly rang. It was the special ringtone for her grandmother. She immediately answered the call. The caretaker's voice came from the other side. Miss Su, the old madam is gone again. Su Qingyue rushed out anxiously. I wanted to follow her to make things clear, but I was blocked by Liu Hua. Mr. Fang, I advise you to stop here. I sighed, having been invited out of the Su group. I leisurely walked home. Just as I reached my door, I suddenly turned my head and saw the old lady I had met before, on her tiptoes, stealthily following me. I looked helpless. As I was about to speak, the old lady already had a firm grip on my wrist. Grandson-in-law, don't you dare abandon me again. In the rented house, the old lady sat at the dining table and drank 3 glasses of water in a row. I frowned and said seriously, I am really not your grandson-in-law. Yes, you are. The old lady was very stubborn. She held the glass and gulped down another one. I knew I couldn't get through to her by talking, so I took out my phone and directly called the number from last time. It rang once, and someone immediately picked up. Hello? I vaguely feel that this woman's voice is a bit familiar. I was about to say something, when the old lady suddenly snatched the phone. At this moment, Su Qingyue was leading a group of people searching nearby. Her expression was calm as if nothing was wrong, but inside, she was a little anxious. Grandma not only has Alzheimer's disease, an 7-year-old person, the organs in her body had long begun to degenerate. Her life could be in danger at any moment. The moment the phone rang, she immediately answered it. Then, she heard her grandmother's powerful voice coming through. You stinky girl, don't come to pick me up. I am with my grandson-in-law. The grandson-in-law's phone number belongs to that young man from last time, so now Grandma is with him again. Su Qingyue's face darkened as she asked, Where are you? I am not telling you. You think I can't find you if you don't tell me? Don't come looking for me, and don't send people to investigate me. Su Qingyue scratched her head, covered the microphone, and softly asked the attending doctor about the old lady's condition. Can we forcibly bring her back? The doctor shook his head and answered in a low voice. The old lady can't handle any agitation right now. It's best to go along with her wishes. That young man from last time doesn't seem like a bad person either. Su Qingyue looked helpless and coaxed into the phone again. Grandma, I have to bring you your medicine. No need to bring medicine. I brought it with me. You can rest assured. Just be good and wait for me to lure my grandson-in-law home. After the little old lady said this, she hung up the phone. She handed the phone back to me with a triumphant expression. Grandson-in-law, it's done. I was full of question marks. What kind of unreliable relative is this? Just handing over an elderly person to a stranger like that. I was about to call back when a WeChat notification sounded. Someone used a phone number to send me a friend request. The message: the old lady, granddaughter. I accepted the other party's friend request. The granddaughter quickly sent a message. Please take care of my grandmother for a while. Her health isn't good lately. She can't handle any agitation. I sneered, holding the phone coldly, typing. Inconvenient. My place is not a charity organization. Before I finished typing, I suddenly heard a noise in the kitchen. I hurried over and saw the old lady boiling eggs. I asked casually, if you're hungry, just eating eggs won't do. The little old lady turned her head, a kind smile on her wrinkled face. Grandson-in-law, use the egg to press on your face. It can reduce the swelling. I was stunned. Perhaps I didn't even realize it myself, after being hit by my own mother today. Although I seemed indifferent, in reality, I was shrouded in a layer of apathy, separating me from this world. At this moment, the old lady's words dispelled the coldness on me, and there was warmth in my heart. Then I looked at my phone again, and saw the chat with the granddaughter. The interface suddenly turned orange. You have received a transfer of 300,000 yuan, with a note attached. This is 1 week's living expenses. Tell me if it's not enough. I looked at my input box, and retyped the message. Okay then. I don't know why I suddenly meddled in other people's business. I thought to myself, it must be because the other party gave too much. The Fang family home. Fang Beta's cheek was swollen. The fist mark was clearly visible. Li Ruian bowed her head. That beast Fang Nanju. He must be jealous that you're about to marry Miss Su Feishu. Wait for your father to come back. Let him teach him a lesson. Mrs. Fang? Nanjing Shu dragged her frail body down from upstairs. Her voice was weak, but her tone was firm. Nanjo is not that kind of person. You must have done something to provoke him first. When Fang Beta saw this, although he was unwilling, he changed the subject. Mom, can you invite Dr. Nan to be a supervisor at Haicheng University? Mrs. Fang immediately refused decisively. Beta, one cannot repay kindness with demands. Besides, for so many years, Dr. Nan has already done more than enough for our family's company. Fang Beta was not surprised. Haicheng University is the best university here. Perhaps Dr. Nan himself wants to go there. We can just happen to help him build a bridge with the university. it can also be considered as repaying Dr. Nan's help over the years. Mrs. Fang felt that this made sense, so she took out her phone and opened WeChat. Then Il asked him. Fang Beta sat next to Mrs. Fang. Dr. Nan has helped our family so much. Any favor has long been repaid. Should our family host a banquet? Wouldn't it be better if you asked him in person then? Dr. Nan always grants Mrs. Fang's requests, as long as he comes, and I propose to be his graduate student. Dr. Nan will definitely not refuse. Mrs. Fang was persuaded. She sent a message to Dr. Nan on WeChat. Xiao Nan, do you have time to come over to the house? After I saw this message, my heart immediately skipped a beat. Why would Mrs. Fang suddenly request to meet? Could it be that her health is not good? Thinking of Mrs. Fang's cough, I was extremely worried. I stood up and walked out. I am free. I'll come over right now. But as I was rushing out the door, a new WeChat message from Mrs. Fang arrived. Not right now. Do you have to work overtime on Saturday? I want to invite you for a casual meal. Only then did I realize that my concern had made me confused. But having a meal at the Fang family home, a bitter smile appeared on my lips. 10 years ago when I moved out of the Fang house, I came back on the first weekend. Entering the courtyard, through the glass window, I saw Mrs. Fang, Fang Beta, and Fang Wenzong. The three of them were talking and laughing. On Mrs. Fang's face was a radiant smile I had never seen before. Li Ruyan said, See, without your existence, they are a real family of three. If you're really good for Mrs. Fang, don't come and bother her anymore. In the end, I left quietly, and only on Mrs. Fang's birthday each year, I would buy a small gift and leave it at the door. So many years have passed like this. It's about time we met once. Right? Then I replied to the message. I should be the one treating you. Saturday night at 6 o'clock. Be there, or be square. After saying that, I sent the location of a restaurant, and Mrs. Fang also happily agreed. Going to the Fang house would cause unnecessary arguments. It's better to meet outside, to have a quiet chat with Mrs. Fang for a while, and I can also check on Mrs. Fang's health. I exited the chat with Mrs. Fang, and found several messages from the granddaughter. The content was about some matters regarding the old lady's care. Seeing this, I secretly went into the guest bedroom and filmed a short video for the granddaughter. On the side of a road not far away, 2 fully equipped nanny vans were parked discreetly. Su Qingyue was sitting on the sofa working on her computer. At this moment, a WeChat notification suddenly sounded. Su Qingyue picked it up to look, and then that eternally frosty face showed a trace of surprise. The family doctor immediately asked, Did something happen to the old lady? Su Qingyue pursed her lips and showed him the video. In it, the old lady was lying sprawled out on a floral bedsheet, sleeping very soundly, even snoring softly. It's only 9 p.m. Normally, if the old lady can fall asleep before 1 a.m., it's already a blessing. The family doctor had a look of astonishment. The old lady is really different with this young man. If he could always stay by the old lady's side, the old lady's health would surely improve. Su Qingyu's gaze deepened, as if she was pondering something. The next morning, I received a message from Su Qingyu. After a few exchanges, the conversation between the two always gave Su Qingyu the feeling of talking to an old friend, very comfortable. She suddenly asked, Can I visit Grandma tonight? Of course, you're always welcome. Then I sent her a specific address. Su Qingyue noted down the address. Then I'll be troubling you. Tonight she must bring the family doctor to check on her grandmother's health. Otherwise, she would be very worried. Su Qingyu saw that I didn't reply to her message anymore. She felt that I seemed to dislike such pleasantries with others. At this moment, outside the door, I was waiting boredly, when suddenly a familiar voice sounded. I turned my head to face a familiar face. It was Su Feishu. The face that in my memory was always gentle and considerate, was now looking at me gloomily. Back in university, I was always alone, like a lone knight. Su Feishu was enthusiastic and outgoing, always sticking to me. She was considered my only friend. It's just that now, our identities are a bit awkward. I hesitated for a moment, and opened my mouth. Is there something you need? Su Feishu sneered. Fang Beta has told me about your background. Why did you hide it from me? In this life, I hate mistresses and illegitimate children the most, yet I foolishly chased a person like you for 4 years. Was it fun? My heart suddenly felt as if it were being squeezed by a large hand. Her parents at home didn't get along. It seemed there was an illegitimate daughter. Fang Beta only needed to reveal my identity to easily shatter 4 years of university friendship. I took a step back, keeping a distance from her. Su Feishu took a step forward to question me. Don't you have anything to explain to me? Explain what? Explain why I am an illegitimate child. Or perhaps, why I chose to be born from Li Ruyan's womb? I let out a mocking laugh, and didn't finish my sentence. I turned to leave. People with different principles can't work together. She already looked down on my origins. so it's fine not to be friends with her. My resolute attitude made Su Feishu unreasonably annoyed. Seeing me get further and further away from her, she suddenly panicked inside, and without thinking, she grabbed my wrist. You can't go. I turned back to look at her. What else is there? Su Feishu's face was tense. She felt this distant and cold demeanor of mine was very heartless. The anger in her heart surged, mixed with an inexplicable sense of grievance. I was clearly the one who let go first. Why does it seem like I am the one being abandoned? Thinking like this, she then heard her own mocking voice. Are you still working part-time here? That means you still haven't found a proper job, right? How about you? Come be my personal assistant. I pulled my hand away from hers and coldly refused. I am afraid I am not up to the task. Su Feishu persisted. You don't have to do anything. I have an apartment near the company. You just need to live there and take care of my daily needs. I'll give you 50,000 yuan a month. Is that enough? My gaze immediately turned cold. You want me to be your mistress? Su Feishu sneered. You can definitely handle this. After all, your mother is a mistress. You've seen and heard it since you were little. It can be considered a family tradition. I believe you'll be very professional. Hearing this, I pushed her to the ground and looked at her coldly. That's enough from you. But after she got up, she wasn't angry, but smiled instead. Her eyes were stubborn and gloomy. Fang Nanju, do you believe it or not? Eventually, you'll just be someone else's plaything. If that's the case, why not choose me? At least I can. For the sake of our school friendship, treat you a little more gently. I'll give you time to think. If you change your mind, you can come find me anytime. Su Feishu left these words and departed. I gave a self-deprecating laugh and turned around, only to suddenly see Su Qingye standing at the door of a private room. Su Qingye never liked socializing, so she found an excuse and was preparing to leave with Liu Hua. But unexpectedly, as soon as she stepped out of the private room, she saw in the corridor not far away the scene that had just unfolded. Her gaze was deep, showing no joy or anger. Liu Hua, however, teased at me twice. I told you so. Why you didn't find a stable job after graduating from university, and were still doing so many part-time jobs? It turns out it was because Su Feishu was forcing you step by step. Hearing that, I was full of question marks. Liu Hua sighed again. So, you had no choice but to bother our boss before. After all, in Haicheng, there's almost no one who dares to confront the Su family. I narrowed my eyes, but didn't refute it. It's been 2 days. This is the first time we've spoken so calmly. Liu Hua said reluctantly. Boss, how about we help him out a little? He's so pitiful. I felt a glimmer of hope. Yes. Help this poor child. I'll go to the Civil Affairs Bureau for a small divorce procedure. This child's company is still waiting to go public. But just as I thought of this, I heard Su Qingye say coldly, why should I, for an unimportant person, make Su Feishu unhappy? After saying that, she strode away from me. Pitiful? What's pitiful? In that boy's eyes when he looked at me, there was an irrepressible slyness and joy. There's nothing pitiful about it at all. It's clearly detestable. Besides, to be able to get her personal schedule proves that I am very resourceful. The corridor quickly quieted down again. I stood on the spot, only feeling that Su Qingye was cold-hearted. Forget it. There's an elderly person at home. I can't stay outside for long after all. I'll go look for her again tomorrow. In the evening, Su Qingye got off work on time and went to an old apartment complex in the suburbs. She was carrying fruits in her hand and followed the address on WeChat to find a unit and knocked on the door. A familiar voice quickly came from inside the door. Coming. The door opened. Su Qingye looked at old Madame Su, who looked very healthy. Then she observed her surroundings. Although it was just a 60 square meter, 2-bedroom apartment, it was incredibly clean and cozy, except there was the sound of running water from the bathroom. Is he taking a shower? Su Qingye withdrew her gaze as if she'd been electrocuted. Feeling a little unnatural, the family doctor who followed her was about to enter the door when she stopped him. Give me the equipment. You go wait in the car. Su Qingye quickly and simply took the old lady's blood pressure, blood sugar, heart rate. Perhaps because the old lady slept very well last night, all the indicators were very healthy. The old lady said proudly, grandson-in-law takes good care of me. Seeing is believing. Su Qingye was finally relieved. Her gaze glanced towards the bathroom again. Then she packed up the equipment. If you're okay, then I'll be leaving now. The old lady was stunned. Aren't you staying for dinner? Grandson-in-law is a great cook. It's not very convenient. Su Qingye put down the testing equipment. Leave this here. The old lady rolled her eyes. You take it with you. If you leave it here, grandson-in-law won't know how to use it. Besides, I don't want Dr. Xiao Feng to come here. I want you to come and check on me every day. If my granddaughter comes every day, Won't she be able to see her grandson-in-law? You two can cultivate your feelings, and you can end this separation, the old lady felt. Her chubby great-grandchild was waving at her. Just as Su Qingyue was about to say something, the sound of water in the bathroom suddenly stopped. She immediately stood up and grabbed the medical kit, panicking as she headed for the door. Then I'll be leaving. I'll come again tomorrow. The moment the door closed, I had just finished getting dressed and walked out of the bathroom. Where's your granddaughter? She left. Said it was inconvenient. She's always so serious, and likes to scowl. Grandson-in-law, is that why you don't like her? It can all be fixed. I am not your grandson-in-law. You are. I felt helpless. After living together for 2 days, I found that the old lady was very kind. She went along with me in everything, except she was very stubborn about this one thing. A few days later, the old lady suddenly said she wanted to go home to get some clothes. So I messaged her granddaughter to ask for the address. But after I opened that location, I was immediately stunned. No. One manor. Isn't this the Su family home? This whole area is 3,000 mu, and the old Su family residence occupies more than 2,000 mu of it. It's the most famous wealthy district in Haicheng. I thought the little old lady's house was one of those small villas. I didn't dare to think it was the Su family home, but after arriving, I looked up at the large black gate, ancient, with exquisite carvings in front of me, and said hesitantly, "Grandma, is this your house?" The little old lady squinted, her gaze a bit dazed. Grandson-in-law. I don't remember anymore. Helpless. I had to message the granddaughter. The granddaughter replied immediately, "You two wait there for a bit. It'll be right there." When the car drove through here, I noticed that the nearest house to us was still a 5-minute drive away. It was really not suitable for wandering around. I helped the little old lady sit down on a stone bench nearby. Suddenly a luxury car stopped in front of us. Fang Beta and Li Ruyan got out from the back seat and rushed in front of us. Li Ruyan frowned tightly and scolded, "Fang Nanju, it really is you. What are you doing here?" Today she came to the Su family home to pay a visit as a servant with Fang Beta, and from a distance saw a young man loitering in front of the Su family gate. I didn't expect it to actually be me. Fang Beta looked at the tightly shut gate of the Su residence. "Nanju, are you here to bother Miss Su Qingyue again?" As soon as these words were out, Li Ruyan immediately shouted angrily, "You beast. Don't you see what day it is today? Get lost right now. If you ruin Beta's relative acknowledging ceremony, I won't let you off. Although I really hate them. The little old lady is here. I don't want to conflict with them." So I suppressed the impatience in my heart and explained, "I am taking the old lady home. We took the wrong way." Fang Beta blurted out reflexively, "Isn't this your wife's grandmother? How could she live in this neighborhood?" I retorted, "Why not? Did your family build this neighborhood?" Fang Beta was choked for words. Li Ruyan, next to him, cursed at me again. "What are you pretending for? How could the grandmother of your dirt-poor wife live here?" She looked straight at the little old lady. "Old woman, then you tell me, which villa number do you live in?" I frowned upon hearing that, and was about to say something. The old lady suddenly stood up. "I remember now. I live right here. Grandson-in-law, come home with grandma." She pulled my hand and walked towards the main gate of the Su family's house. It was about 100 meters from here to the main gate, but after just 2 steps, Fang Bodai spoke up. "Nanju, you've made up so many excuses. Aren't you just using this old woman as a shield?" Arriving at the Su family's house, I paused. I suddenly looked towards the Su family's house ahead. Although when I saw this magnificent gate, I already had some guesses in my heart, but I couldn't connect the polite granddaughter on WeChat with the cold and heartless Su Qingyue. Maybe the old lady remembered wrong. Just as I was about to confirm again, Li Ruyan suddenly rushed forward, pouncing on the old lady. "You damn old hag, making up this lie, coming to our door to cause a scene. How shameless. You are not allowed to cause trouble at the Su family's house." I was startled. With one hand, I shielded the old lady. With the other, I held Li Ruyan back. I pushed her away with force. "What are you doing? The old lady is so old. She can't withstand any pushing." Li Ruyan was pushed back several steps. After regaining her footing, she immediately started cursing me for being an ungrateful wretch. "You would hit your own mother for this old hag. I am going to call the police and sue you for being unfilial." I ignored her and quickly looked at the old lady, having never been scolded like that before. She was indeed trembling with anger. Her hand was on her chest. Her body was shaking uncontrollably. Her entire body directly fell to the ground. I quickly caught her. I immediately took out the quick-acting heart medication from her bag, but after opening the bottle cap, I found that it was empty. My pupils constricted. The elderly are very fragile, unless it's absolutely necessary. CPR is not suitable. It's best to take medicine. I suddenly looked towards that big gate. The Su family must have medicine. Even if the old lady isn't from the Su family, she's still their neighbor. They wouldn't just watch someone die. I picked up the old lady. Grandma, don't be scared. I'll take you to get medicine. But Fang Bodai grabbed my arm tightly. Nanju, don't do this. The Su family won't let you in. He looked at the old lady. A dark glint flashed in his eyes. This old lady's complexion is terrible. It looks like she really won't make it. If she dies just like that, Fang Nanzu's wife will surely hate him to death. At this moment, I felt like I was about to go crazy with anger. A towering flame of fury raged in my eyes. I lifted my foot and kicked him to the ground. But the next moment, my leg was grabbed tightly by someone else. Li Ruyan was sitting on the ground, shamelessly clinging to me with all her might. You think you're the only ones who know how to cause a scene. Who doesn't? I am about to die too. I am about to be beaten to death by my own son, even if I die today. I won't let this damn old hag cause trouble for the Su family. I was trembling with anger. I still had to take care of the old lady in my arms. I couldn't break free for a moment. Just then, a black Bentley slowly drove up. Su Qing Yue got out of the car and asked loudly, "What are you all doing?" Fang Bodai quickly spoke up. "Miss Su, it's Nanju." He insisted on bringing a dying old woman to the Su family's house to cause a scene. It's all my fault for not being able to stop him. Hearing this, I slowly turned around. When she saw that the person I was holding was her grandmother, Su Qingyu's pupils suddenly constricted. She immediately strode towards us. She looked calm, but her heart was in a panic. Her grandmother was her closest relative in the world. Her health had been declining in recent years. The family doctor had already hinted that the old lady might not make it through this year. She couldn't lose her grandmother. When I saw her approaching, I had already guessed it, but now was not the time to talk about these things. I quickly said, "The old lady is having a heart attack relapse. The medicine she had with her just ran out. She'll be fine if she takes her medicine in time." As Yu Qingyue pursed her lips, she reached out to take her grandmother and rushed into the Su family's house without looking back. I didn't follow, because my leg was still being held by Li Ruyan. Fang Bodai looked doubtfully at Su Qingyu's departing figure. A strong sense of unease suddenly rose in his heart. She can't really be old Madame Su, can she? How could old Madame Su to be with Fang Nanju? She's the grandmother of Fang Nanzu's wife. Li Ruyan, let go of me. She stood up and dusted herself off. Miss Su was so tense, probably because she was afraid a real death would occur. Then the Su family would be suspected of not helping someone in need. It wouldn't look good if word got out. She glared at me fiercely. Aren't you just relying on this to bring that damn old hag into the Su family's house? Fang Bodai frowned and thought, right. There's no way Fang Nanzu's hooligan wife could be Su Qingyu. He was really overthinking it. At this moment, the main gate of the Su family's house opened. Su Feixiu stepped out. Fang Bodai's eyes lit up. He said with a smile, "Sister Feixiu, you could have just waited for me in the parking lot. Why did you come all the way to the gate?" Su Feixiu looked displeased. Fang Bodai had texted her that he was arriving soon, but he had brought a lot of gifts and asked her to come out and help. She had been waiting in the parking lot for a long time, but there was no sign of him, so she came straight out to see. As a result, she saw me immediately. Her steps faltered slightly. In an instant, the impatient look on her face disappeared. She forced a gentle expression and said to Fang Bodai, "It's your first time here. I was afraid you wouldn't find your way." And Fang Bodai also ran up to her with a happy expression. "Sister Feixiu, you're so kind," he asked tentatively. "Is old Madame Su at home?" "Great-grandmother isn't in good health. She's always been recuperating at home. Old Madame Su lives alone in a courtyard and doesn't allow them to disturb her." Su Feixiu said this as if it were obvious. Fang Bodai actually believed it. He was completely relieved. Su Feixiu looked at me brazenly. She didn't miss any small expression on my face, trying to find jealousy, admiration, or resentment in it, but my face was only gloomy. I was worried about the old lady in my heart. I paid no attention to their lovey-dovey act at all. Now, I am basically sure that the granddaughter is Su Qingyue. I looked at that big gate, wondering if I would be stopped if I went in now. Suddenly, it went dark in front of me. Su Feixiu stood in front of me and said bluntly, "Fang Nanju, you came looking for me. Have you thought things through?" I remained silent with a gloomy face. Su Feixiu sneered, saying very malicious words. "If you've thought it through, you could have just called me. Who allowed you to come to the Su family's house? Is the main gate of the Su family a place an illegitimate son like you can enter? But if you really want to come in and see, that's fine too, as long as..." But before she could finish, she was interrupted by Fang Bodai. "Sister Feixiu, you've misunderstood. Nanju is waiting for his wife's grandmother. The old woman just had a heart attack and was carried in for emergency treatment by Miss Su Qingyu." Su Feixiu was slightly stunned, muttering, "What, wife?" Fang Bodai chuckled lightly. "That's right. I haven't had a chance to tell you. Nanju is married, Su Feishu's eyes suddenly turned red. She gritted her teeth. Fang Nanju. Who is that woman? Her expression was as if she was catching me cheating. My eyes showed a hint of mockery. Su Feishu, who my wife is, has nothing to do with you. Su Feishu's voice suddenly rose. How is it not related? I'd like to see, without my permission, who would dare marry you. Fang Bodai quickly replied, I heard Nanzu's mother say, she's a hooligan. Su Feishu clenched her fists, speaking without restraint. You've really lowered yourself. Fine. An illegitimate son and a hooligan are a match made in heaven. Fang Bodai continued to add fuel to the fire. Nanju must be very resentful. That's why he's always bothering Miss Su Qingyu. I sneered disdainfully. Fang Bodai, do you think you're the young master of the Fang family? Is your mind filled with nothing but sordid affairs? Is there nothing else? Hearing this, Fang Bodai's face stiffened. He clenched his fists and sighed. I know you're doing this for revenge, against me and Sister Feishu. Miss Su Qingyue has been married for a long time. You shouldn't be destroying someone else's marriage. Su Feishu heard these words. She was furious. She had been waiting for my call for days, thinking that if I softened up and begged, it wouldn't be impossible to forgive me once. But it turned out I had already found someone else. Thinking of this, she immediately became angry. I knew it. Why would your wife's grandmother get sick at my doorstep? It turns out you came looking for my youngest aunt. Fang Nanzhou, how can you be so shameless? She was fuming with anger, pointing at me and instructing the bodyguard. Did you see clearly? Remember this face. Don't let him take another step into the Su family's house. Fang Bodai lowered his head to hide his smug smile. This main gate of this Su family's house. Su Feishu can still call half the shots. However, the next moment, the Su family's butler walked out from the gate. His gaze swept over everyone, and then he came to me. Mr. Fang Nanju, Miss Qingyu invites you inside. Fang Bodai was stunned. Su Feishu was speechless, while I looked up at the bodyguard with a smirk. So, can I go in now? The bodyguard carefully glanced at Su Feishu and opened the gate without hesitation. He still understood clearly who called the shots in the Su family. After entering the house, Su Feishu and the others also followed. Lai Ruan looked at me angrily. Miss Su Qingyu probably asked you to come pick up your grandmother. After you get her, you should know your place and leave immediately. You beast. Don't dirty the Su family's carpet. With this statement, several people entered the living room together. Immediately, they saw old Madame Su sitting upright in the main seat on the sofa. The old lady looked at them angrily. You wicked woman, who are you calling a beast? The old lady had changed into a luxurious set of clothes, but her complexion was still not very good. Su Qingyue coldly sat to her left. Li Ruyan stood frozen on the spot, while Fang Bodai's legs went weak, and he almost fell to the ground. Luckily, Su Feishu caught him. Su Feishu asked, puzzled, what's wrong with you? Fang Bodai's hands were trembling. He was originally trying to climb the social ladder by marrying into the Su family. Every elder here was someone he had to try his best to please. But before he even entered the door, he had already offended the old Madam. He suddenly gave a bitter laugh. Nanju, why did you lie to us? Saying, old Madam Su was your wife's grandmother, causing us to be disrespectful to the old madam. I immediately felt several suspicious gazes in the room turned towards me. Li Ruyan also reacted, knowing the old madam has Alzheimer's. You dare to deceive her. What do you take the Su family for? Kneel down and apologize to me right now. My gaze darkened. Are they trying to shift all the blame onto me? Fang Bodai is taking the opportunity to clear his name. What a clever trick. Crash. A teacup was thrown by the old lady, hitting Lai Ruyan directly. The hot tea inside spilled all over her. But Li Ruyan didn't dare to scream. You bastard. The old madam said angrily. He's my grandson-in-law. Li Ruyan endured the burning pain and said, Old madam, you've been deceived by him. I am very sure. His wife is a hooligan. No need to argue anymore. Just ask the person involved. Su Feishu's mother spoke up from the side. Qingyue, is he really your husband? I suddenly looked at Su Qingyue, and then heard the expected answer. No. What a person who repays kindness with enmity, an ungrateful woman. A flash of anger appeared in my eyes, while Fang Bodai showed a look of joy, immediately sighing in relief. Li Ruyan pouted. I told you so. This was all Fang Nanzu's scheme. I let out a cold laugh. I was about to speak, when I heard the woman's voice again. It was Grandma who mistook him for someone else. So, I asked Mr. Fang to help take care of Grandma for a while. Everyone fell silent. No one expected things to develop this way. After a moment, Fang Bodai lowered his head. So that's how it is. Nanju, why didn't you tell us the truth? If you had said so earlier, this misunderstanding wouldn't have happened. Mr. Fang Bodai. Su Qingyue leaned against the sofa. Her posture was casual, but her aura was very powerful when she spoke. When things go wrong, You hide behind others and shirk responsibility. Is this how the Fang family teaches its children? Old Madame Su was enlightened by this statement. She immediately said angrily, "Well said. You think I have a problem with my head, so I can't see through your little tricks? You make a mistake and don't repent, and even try to frame others. You two are truly shameless." Old Madame Su looked straight at Su Feiju. "Break off the engagement. I do not acknowledge this great-grandson-in-law." Fang Bode was completely shocked. The marriage he had worked so hard to get couldn't be lost just like that. Then he looked towards Su Feishu, only to see the woman in a daze, her eyes still fixed on me. Clearly, she hadn't recovered from the shock of me being married. Fang Bodai clenched his fists. He lowered his head and went to Su Feishu. "Sister Feishu, it's my fault. Don't worry. Even if we break off the engagement, I'll still keep my promise to introduce you to that person." Feishu came back to her senses. Fang Bode still wanted to help her get an introduction to Dr. Nan. Currently, in China's new energy projects, Dr. Nan is one of the top figures. She quickly said to old Madame Su, "Great-grandmother, Fang Bodai is innocent as he was unaware. Please forgive him. Besides, our two families have already exchanged betrothal gifts. It's really not convenient to break off the engagement." Old Madame Su gave her a deep look. "Whatever." The old madam deeply understood a principle. If you're not deaf and not mute, you can't be the head of the household. Her great-granddaughter's matters are for her parents to decide. She didn't want to interfere too much, but Su Feishu's mother said with a smile, "Grandmother, have you forgotten to give the meeting gift?" Hearing this, old Madame Su immediately lowered her eyelids. "Ill. Have someone transfer 180,000 to Feishu." Su Feishu's mother's face stiffened. "But, didn't you say before that you'd give the young couple 2% of the shares because you were afraid they'd be short on cash after getting married? If we're talking about who is the richest in the Su family, it's definitely old Madame Su. She came from a wealthy family in the capital. Her dowry was very generous, and she also holds 20% of the Su family's shares. Su Feishu's mother had long wanted to use the marriage to get a large sum from her. It had all been agreed upon, but the old madam suddenly changed her mind. Old Madame Su looked at her with a smirk and said stubbornly, "I am not satisfied with this great-grandson-in-law, so I am not giving it any more." Fang Bade's face turned pale. He only felt deeply humiliated. The Su family has many servants. This statement would surely spread. Then the entire Haicheng city would know that he was disliked by the old madam. Wealthy families value face the most. Today, the old madam had truly taken his face and trampled it underfoot. But the old lady didn't care about these things. After leaving that sentence, she pulled me and led Su Qingyue to the courtyard where she lived. Then she found an excuse to leave, telling Su Qingyue to help her entertain the grandson-in-law well, and then quickly left with her people. In a flash, only Su Qingyue and I were left in the courtyard. The night was as dark as ink. Su Qingyue and I stood next to each other, hesitating on how to start the conversation. Su Qingyue suddenly looked at me. Her eyebrows were tightly furrowed, filled with disgust. "WeChat. Wu Hang Xiao Tai." Not to be outdone, I also suddenly looked at her seriously. Silly second girl. Su Qingyu's face turned pale. She even coaxed Grandma into telling her this. As expected, his intentions are not pure. Grandma clinging to him was probably an accident. There was no trace of calculation in it. But this man's kindness in taking in Grandma was perhaps because Grandma accidentally revealed her identity. I mocked her with a sentence, not forgetting the main issue. "I remember you said on WeChat that you would do me a favor. So, can you come with me to the Civil Affairs Bureau to check our marital status?" Su Qingyu's face was gloomy. She said impatiently, "Fine, then let's go. If it's not real, I hope you won't use my grandmother to bother me anymore." The old lady's head peeked out from the window. "You damn girl. Are you bullying my grandson-in-law?" Hearing this, Su Qingyu's expression immediately stiffened. "No. The dinner was quite simple. 4 meat dishes, 1 soup. Just enough for 3 people. It's just that the old lady had no appetite. After a few bites, she put down her chopsticks. "Grandson-in-law, I am tired. Let's go home. Don't push yourself. You should rest at home tonight. This small courtyard is like a miniature nursing home, fully equipped with all kinds of medical equipment." The old lady worriedly grabbed my hand again. "Then can you stay with me?" I frowned and glanced at Su Qingyue. Actually, I am also worried about the old lady, but this detestable woman dislikes me so much. Suspecting that I am using the old lady to get close to her, she definitely won't agree. Su Qingyu was silent for a moment. "Okay." Then she gave me a meaningful look. The meaning was very clear. She was doing all this for her grandmother, telling me not to get any funny ideas. The corner of my mouth twitched. The old lady was satisfied. Good. Wherever my grandson-in-law is, that's where it'll be. After dinner, I took the old lady back to her room to rest. The old lady was probably really tired today, and she had also been sick. As soon as she lay down, she drifted off to sleep. She slept very restlessly. I had no choice but to sit by her bed and watch over her. Outside the window, Su Qingyu's expression was serious. Why is Grandma like this? The family doctor had studied psychology before. He sighed. Although I don't know why the old madam is so fixated on this young man. I can more or less guess why the old madam is so insecure and afraid that her grandson-in-law will leave. Then, the family doctor glanced at Su Qingyu again. The old madam probably feels that she won't make it through this year. She's afraid that after she's gone, she won't have any worries anymore. The grandson-in-law is the only one who can stay by her side. Su Qingyu was slightly stunned. In her clear, dark eyes, an irrepressible emotion was surging. It took a long time for her to regain her composure. She stood under the moonlight, seemingly wanting to completely merge into the darkness behind her, dissolve. Who knows how long it's been. The woman suddenly turned around and strode towards the main house. This meal was very difficult for Fang Boda to eat, because his branch of the family had lost 2% of the shares. Su Feixiu's mother, Lu Meizhen, was very displeased. She spoke to him with nothing but sarcasm and ridicule. Isn't Fang Nanju your family's illegitimate son? How can he win over the old madam? But you can't? Fang Boda could only lower his head and apologize. Auntie, I am not as sweet-tongued as Nanju, knowing how to coax people. Liu Meizhen sneered. I don't care what method you use. You must get that 2% of shares back from me. Otherwise, don't even think about stepping through the Su family's door. Fang Boda had a grievance he couldn't voice. He finally managed to finish the difficult meal. He could finally take his leave. Before he could even leave, Su Qingyu had returned. The moment she entered, she brought with her a strong sense of oppression. Her gaze was like a torch. After sweeping over the leftovers on the dining table, her expression became even uglier. Grandma didn't eat anything tonight, yet they were here, host and guests all happy. Liu Meizhen saw her expression, and didn't dare to say anything. It was Su Feixiu's father, Su Yuanji, who frowned and asked Qingyue, why did you come here? Su Qingyue paid no attention to this nominal older brother. She only looked towards Fang Boda. Since the engagement hasn't been broken, then he can be considered part of the Su family now, right? If you're a member of the Su family, then you must abide by the Su family's rules. Today, he disobeyed an elder. The punishment is to kneel in the ancestral hall for one night. Su Qingyu allowed no argument. She waved her hand behind her. Two bodyguards stepped in front of Fang Boda. Young Master Fang, please. At this moment, Fang Boda was a little dazed. Kneeling in the ancestral hall for an entire night, having been pampered since childhood. How could he endure it? He looked to Su Feixiu for help, but saw that she didn't dare to defy the authority of the person in power. He took a deep breath, and could only follow the bodyguards. Before leaving the room, he heard Su Feixiu ask her youngest aunt, what about that Fang Nanju? Has he left? What followed was Su Qingyu's warning-laced reply. He is my guest. He will be staying at the SU residence tonight. Fang Boda followed the bodyguards to the ancestral hall. The bodyguard said again, young Miss said that the two of you are not yet married, so you cannot enter the SU family's ancestral hall. Kneel outside. Outside was a blue brick floor. Fang Boda wanted to say something else, but the two bodyguards clasped their hands behind their backs and looked at him coldly. Young Master Fang, please. It was October. The nights were already very cold. Fang Boda was so cold he was shivering. The bone-chilling cold from his knees seeped into his bones. He wanted to slack off a bit, but those two bodyguards stared at him like door gods. Although they said nothing, they made one shiver without the cold. If they didn't care for me. Fang Boda was so hateful he gritted his teeth. But in this Su family, he can only stay for one night, while I can stay for a lifetime in the future. Besides, he was about to meet Dr. Nan. I must play this Dr. Nan card well. When I woke up, I was already lying in bed, covered with a small pink fleece blanket. It didn't match the decor of the old madam's room. I didn't think much of it. After waking up and washing my face, I had breakfast with the old madam and Su Qingyue. There was a plate of fried sugar cakes on the table. The old madam immediately picked one up with her chopsticks. Su Qingyue frowned. Grandma, your blood sugar is high. It's not suitable for you to eat this kind of oily, sugary food. She was thinking about how to stop her, when she heard the young man say calmly, Grandma, this sugar cake isn't suitable for you. Then, the stubborn old madam, who never listened to the doctor's advice, and was obstinately gluttonous, her hand changed direction in midair, and put the sugar cake into my bowl. The old madam smiled sweetly. Grandson-in-law, I got this for you. Su Qingyu was a bit stunned. She looked at me with a scrutinizing gaze, not understanding why Grandma listened to me so obediently. I ate the sugar cake without ceremony, then looked at Su Qingyu. By the way, when we go to the Civil Affairs Bureau later, you need to bring your ID and household registration book. The old madam asked curiously, What are you two going to the Civil Affairs Bureau for? We lost the marriage certificate. We're getting a replacement. You need the marriage certificate for a divorce. I really wasn't just being perfunctory with the old madam, but I didn't expect that as soon as I said it. The old madam spoke up. It's not lost. She hurriedly went into the bedroom and quickly came out holding 2 red marriage certificate booklets. She handed them to me and Su Qingyu. I stared blankly at the marriage certificate in my hand and suddenly realized the old madam had called me grandson-in-law the first time she met me. She always knew we were married. I felt like I had grasped a clue. I immediately asked, "Grandma, why do you have this marriage certificate?" The old madam was stunned. Her eyes became a little hazy. I don't remember clearly. Then how did Miss Su and I get married? The old madam continued to shake her head. I don't remember. I was a little anxious. Grandma, try to think again. That's enough? Su Qingyue snapped softly. She stepped directly between me and the old madam, looking at me with cold eyes. Mr. Fang, this certificate is real. Are you going to say next that we don't need to go to the Civil Affairs Bureau anymore? So this was your purpose. First, you used going to the Civil Affairs Bureau as a legitimate reason to pester me, laying the groundwork to trick Grandma into taking out this fake document, to make her believe it's real. If it weren't for seeing how obediently Grandma listened to me just now, I am afraid you would have believed it too. I could sense a hint of killing intent in the woman's tone. I found it baffling. It's fine if we don't go today. After all, this divorce can't be settled just by going to the Civil Affairs Bureau. For the past 2 years, we have been a legally married couple. It involves many issues of asset division. We need to sign a divorce agreement first. No. After Su Qingyu finished speaking, she stared at me intently, only to see the young man slightly stunned. Then he said indifferently, "As you wish. Is this acting too good? Or is he refusing to give up until all hope is lost? Or is this marriage certificate actually real?" Su Qingyu suddenly became a little uncertain. She decisively took the marriage certificate and walked out first. "I'll wait for you in the parking lot." I smiled to reassure the old madam. The two of them had just reached the parking lot when they saw Li Ruyan supporting Fang Boda with a pained expression, standing there. At this moment, Fang Boda's face was pale, sneezing continuously. Both his legs were trembling, and after seeing me, Li Ruyan's eyes lit up. "Nanju." She quickly walked over. Cautiously bypassing Su Qingyu, she came to stand in front of me and said condescendingly, "You must help your brother." I raised an eyebrow, not understanding. Why are these two here so early in the morning? Could it be that they didn't leave last night either? I didn't say anything. Li Ruyan was already nagging nonstop. "Nanju, you are an illegitimate child, but the Fang family never minded your background. They raised you. Even if there's no merit, there was hard work. You should also repay the Fang family. Your brother treated you even better. Not only did he let you go to school with him, he even shared his clothes with you. Also, when you were just born, your body was weak. You actually couldn't have been raised. I didn't have any milk. You stole the milk that belonged to your brother. That's how you survived. Back then, the Fang family didn't intend to accept us. It was because you and your brother were born on the same day that Madame Fang and your father let us stay. Therefore, you owe your brother. You must treat him well for the rest of your life." These familiar words, I haven't heard them for 10 years. Thinking about my younger self, who actually believed these devilish words, working like a horse and ox in the Fang family, being bullied by Fang Boda at will. Now, I only find it ridiculous. It's true the Fang family raised me, but it's the law for parents to raise their children. If they didn't care for me, they would be committing the crime of abandonment. I did indeed go to school with Fang Boda, but I had to carry his school bag to and from school. At school, I had to play the role of his lackey. If Fang Boda coughed even once on any given day, it was because I didn't take good care of him, and I would get a beating from Li Ruyan. At school, I could only aim to be first from the bottom in exams, because I couldn't outshine Fang Boda. As for clothes, my parents never prepared any for me. I could only wear the clothes Fang Boda no longer wanted, so my clothes were always too short for me all year round. Madame Fang did. She bought new clothes for me, but as soon as I put them on, they were stripped off by Li Ruyan and given to Fang Boda. She said I wasn't worthy. I couldn't be more handsome than Fang Boda. As for my body being weak, what newborn wouldn't be weak after being starved for 4 or 5 days? The mockery in my eyes grew stronger, but Li Ruyan was completely unaware of my strangeness. After saying all that, she immediately said, "Now you're all grown up. You finally have a chance to repay the Fang family. Nanju, doesn't old Madame Su listen to you very well? Go tell her to return that 2% of the shares to your brother." I suddenly laughed. "You're right." Hearing this, Ruyan's face lit up with joy, thinking that I had been persuaded by her, but the next moment, she heard the young man say softly, "I am just a lowly illegitimate son. How could old Madame Su possibly listen to me?" Li Ruyan was stunned. She wanted to say something else, but I had already strode past her. and went straight to Su Qingyu's car. Let's go. Su Qingyue looked at the young man sitting in the back seat. She wanted to say the driver hadn't arrived yet, but seeing Li Ruyan looking like she was about to give chase, Su Qingyue got directly into the driver's seat and slammed the car door shut, then calmly fastened her seatbelt. Only then did she start the car and drive away. The extended black luxury Bentley drove steadily on the road. Through the rearview mirror, Su Qingyue could see on the handsome face of the young man looking out the window a very indifferent expression. She retracted her gaze and continued to drive. It was just that the warning words she had intended to say were ultimately left unspoken. The car quickly arrived at the Civil Affairs Bureau. As soon as the car stopped, Liu Hua's voice came from outside the car window. "Boss, the driver said you drove off by yourself. It scared me so much. I rushed to follow the GPS. Did something happen?" "No." Su Qingyue was as terse as ever. Liu Hua looked towards the Civil Affairs Bureau. "Why did you come here? Could it be that you've really been pestered by Fang Nanju to the point of paranoia? Don't worry. I told you he wouldn't be able to see you again. Otherwise, I'll live stream myself eating." Liu Hua hadn't finished his sentence when a lazy male voice was heard. His body froze. He slowly looked towards the back seat and saw a hint of amusement in my eyes. "What's your live stream channel?" Liu Hua was stunned. Then, the three of them entered the Civil Affairs Bureau. They went to the service counter. Liu Hua asked first. "Hello. I'd like to ask something. Can someone who isn't present receive a certificate?" The staff member frowned upon hearing this. "That's definitely not allowed." "Did you hear that?" Liu Hua looked at me mockingly. He glanced at the marriage certificate in my hand and sneered. "You even prepared fake documents. I am going to call the police now to report you for forgery and harassment." But Su Qingyue handed over the marriage certificate in her hand. "Could you please check if this marriage certificate is real?" The staff member looked at her strangely and took the marriage certificate. She entered the information into the computer to check. Su Qingyu pursed her lips, suddenly feeling that her actions were ridiculous. She was clearly certain she had never been married, yet for some reason, she came here, and even missed a very important meeting. The staff member quickly gave her an answer. "This certificate is real." Su Qingyue was slightly stunned. Liu Hua heard the staff member's words, and unconsciously exclaimed in shock, "How is that possible? Did you guys register the information incorrectly?" The staff member glared at him, saying that marriage is a serious matter. Both parties who come to register must have their identities thoroughly checked and sign a declaration form. Hearing about the declaration form, I quickly spoke up. "Can we see our declaration form? Please bring out the declaration form." Su Qingyu spoke at the same time. The two looked at each other, then immediately looked away. The staff member reluctantly stood up. "You two as a couple are really in sync." "All right, I'll go find it for you," she quickly returned, holding the registration documents for the two of them. She pulled the declaration form from it for us to see. I found that the handwriting on it was indeed mine. Liu Hua, at the side, also exclaimed, "Boss, this is really your handwriting." I thought for a moment, then looked at the surrounding cameras. "Hello. Can we review the video from the day we registered?" "Sorry, we only keep videos for half a year." After that, the staff member repeatedly assured them that a marriage certificate can only be issued when both parties are present, and their work is absolutely free of errors. The three of them finally walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau helplessly. Standing at the entrance, Liu Hao was a bit lost. "Boss, what do we do now?" Su Qingyu's gaze darkened, while I raised an eyebrow. "Divorce." The two spoke in unison again. Liu Hua was stunned. He asked again, "So, divorce now? Do we need to discuss the divorce terms?" "I'll have my lawyer contact you." "Talk to my lawyer." Su Qingyu and I spoke in unison again. After the two finished speaking, they couldn't help but look at each other. I chuckled and said decisively, "How about this? We each have our lawyers draft an agreement. We'll review them first. If there are any issues, we'll let the lawyers talk." Liu Hua sneered. "A guy like you can afford a lawyer?" But Su Qingyue nodded in agreement. I ignored Liu Hua and took out my phone again. "Miss Su, let's add each other on WeChat. It'll be convenient for future contact." Su Qingyu paused. She took out her phone meaningfully and opened her WeChat QR code, only to see me scan it. Then a chat window appeared on my phone. The contact name on it was Silly Niece. Her expression immediately darkened. I was also a bit stunned. It seems I forgot we were already WeChat friends. Facing the woman's displeased expression, I coughed. "I just set that nickname randomly back then. I'll change it." I covered my phone and casually changed Silly Niece to Silly Second Miss. Then I left with a "see you later" and hailed a taxi to leave. Looking at my departing back, Liu Hua hesitated and looked at Su Qingyue. "Boss, are you two actually a real married couple? You were too in sync just now." Su Qingyue glanced at him. "Find the best divorce lawyer, draft an agreement, protect the external assets, Liu Hua immediately stood up straight and hastily agreed. After saying this, Liu Hua suddenly realized something. I get it. The marriage must be a scheme by that man. Now that he sees he can't win your heart, he's decided to take your money. No wonder he has the money to hire a lawyer to divorce you. Even if he only gets a tiny bit, he can still get a hefty lawyer's fee. Liu Hua gritted his teeth in anger. Don't you worry. I will absolutely not let him take a single penny from you. In the taxi on the other side, I was also calling Ji-Yu. Find the best divorce lawyer. I absolutely cannot let her take a single penny of my money. No problem. Ji-Yue said, gossipily, Big boss. What's the deal with you getting married? You and Su Qingyue both don't remember. Could it be that you both have amnesia? Do you think you're reading a novel? I am just curious. It's both absurd and exciting. It would be great if the Civil Affairs Bureau assigned me a husband every day. I sighed silently. After a long while, I said, there's one person who definitely knows what happened. Is it old Madame Su? Didn't you say she doesn't remember? I frowned. The clinical drug for Alzheimer's. We must speed up the progress. Otherwise, it'll be too late. I quickly arrived home. After I opened the door and entered the familiar room, I suddenly discovered this 60 square meter, two-bedroom apartment seemed a bit empty. Just then, the old madam, carrying a suitcase, walked in from the hallway. Grandson-in-law, you're back. I've been waiting for you for a long time. I brought a lot of clothes this time. I paused for a moment, then suddenly smiled. On that day, at the most famous divorce law firm in Tianhai City, the most famous lawyer received two separate requests to draft divorce agreements. Both parties requested anonymity. The request was also the same, my money. The other party is not to take a single penny. The terms were extremely harsh. The legal assistant beside him complained. I've seen so many divorce cases, but I've never seen anyone so heartless. One client is the husband. The other client is the wife. Men and women are the same when they're cruel. The lawyer was used to cases of loving couples turning into enemies. There were even more ruthless examples than this. He laughed and said, one contract, and we easily earn 2 fees. It's ready, send it to our clients. The top floor of the SU Corporation. Su Qingyue had been busy ever since returning from the Civil Affairs Bureau, when she received a call from home saying Grandma had gone to find her grandson-in-law again. It was almost time to get off work. Grandma needs a health check every day, to ensure all her various indicators are stable. She frowned slightly, and subconsciously opened WeChat. She found my WeChat, Wu Xing Kuitai. She wanted to send something but didn't know what to say. It seemed that after finding out Wu Xing Kuitai was me, she had been feeling awkward. She casually scrolled through their chat history. Before, the two of them had chatted very naturally, like old friends, especially when she helped him curse at someone. Wait, the person I cursed at in the restaurant that day. It wasn't him. Was it? Su Qingyu's expression immediately darkened again. Just then, her phone vibrated. It was a divorce agreement sent by me, Miss Su. The asset division in the agreement is my bottom line. See if it's acceptable to you. Asset division? Could it be that this man really schemed to marry for money? Just as Su Qingyue opened the contract, the door was pushed open. Liu Hua walked in. Boss, the investigation results about your marriage are in. Just as Liu Hua finished his sentence, Su Qingyue was on her computer, opening the divorce agreement I had sent. She quickly scanned the agreement. Her gaze stopped on the asset division clause. After seeing the contents clearly, she was slightly surprised. Seeing this, Liu Hua also craned his neck to look. Then he sneered, that man is really ridiculous. He won't even let you share his assets. What can she get from him? His Aunt Huabei loan? Su Qingyue lowered her eyes and asked what they had found out. Boss, we've investigated. Fang Nanju went to register his marriage with his girlfriend a few days ago. That's when he discovered you two were already married. This divorce agreement also seems to be for a quick divorce. It seems he really didn't know anything. Liu Hua said up to this point, and then his tone changed. But I find that too forced. We investigated him as a person. The results showed that, in the years since he left the XU family, many things couldn't be investigated. Boss, don't you find it very strange? He's an ordinary person, so why would he hide himself? Su Qingyue narrowed her eyes, seemingly deep in thought. So you think this matter can't be unrelated to him? That's right. But as for what his purpose is, it's impossible to know. Then Liu Hua scratched his head. But it's been 2 years. At that time, our whereabouts were not fixed. We really don't have any clues. Perhaps we can only wait for the old madam to remember something someday. Su Qingyue gave him a cold glance. Liu Hua quickly lowered his head. It's because we're incompetent. We will continue to investigate. Su Qingyue printed out 2 copies of the divorce agreement. She stood up and walked out. Have you contacted the researcher Noel yet? I heard he's about to formulate the clinical drug for Alzheimer's disease. Su Qingyue wanted to be able to use the drug on her grandmother immediately. Liu Hua's head bowed even lower. Researcher Noel is elusive and mysterious. Because of this research, he's also being watched by major biotechnology companies. He's being even more careful. Feeling the coldness emanating from Su Qingyue, his voice grew softer and softer. Boss, please rest assured. I will definitely be able to contact him. I just finished dinner with the little old lady when I received a WeChat message from Su Qingyue. I am downstairs. Come down. Right after, I used the excuse of taking out the trash to go downstairs. As soon as I looked, I saw the familiar black extended version Bentley luxury car. In the car, Su Qingyue handed over the divorce agreement. I have no objections. Sign it. Her dark eyes stared at me, as if expecting me to find an excuse to refuse. This young man signed the two agreements without any hesitation and even asked her if they could get divorced tomorrow. Su Qingyue's gaze was deep. In such a hurry? Just die already. I thought to myself, how could I not be in a hurry? The company is still waiting to be listed. Su Qingyue looked at me searchingly for a moment. Okay. I reminded her again. Tomorrow morning, bring your ID card, household registration book, and marriage certificate. Well, meet at the Civil Affairs Bureau. Su Qingyue nodded, but her expression suddenly changed. She saw old Madame Su, who had come downstairs at some unknown time, staring at us with a pale face. She clutched her chest, her voice trembling. You two want a divorce? Then she closed her eyes and collapsed to the ground. Outside the VIP room of the first hospital, the patient is temporarily out of danger. The attending doctor seriously instructed, the old madam cannot take any more agitation. You two must absolutely not make her angry again. When I heard these words, I thought of the emergency first aid measures we just applied to the little old lady, and I still felt a little scared. I looked at Su Qingyue standing beside me. The woman was expressionless, looking very calm. But when the doctor said she was out of danger, she reached up to loosen her shirt collar and slowly sat down on the long bench in the hallway. Her hands, clasped together on her knees, couldn't help but tremble slightly. At this moment, the nurse's voice came from the hospital room. Old madam, you're awake. Su Qingyue immediately rushed into the room. When I followed her in, the little old lady had already opened her eyes. She looked at me and said in a hoarse voice, grandson-in-law, I dreamt that you and that stinky girl wanted to get a divorce. That's not true. Is it? I didn't say anything, but Su Qingyue spoke up. It's not true. Then we won't get divorced. Give me all the household registration books and marriage certificates. Yes. Su Qingyue agreed to all her requests. The little old lady looked at me again. Grandson-in-law, is what the stinky girl said true? I thought of the doctor's instructions, and after a moment of silence, yes, it's true. Only then was the little old lady satisfied. Although she was just emotionally agitated, she still had to stay in the hospital for observation tonight. Su Qingyue and I stayed in the hospital room to take care of her. Dusk fell. I was lazing on the sofa, writing a document entirely in English on my phone. The content was about clinical drug research for Alzheimer's disease, but in the final stage, there was still a difficult technical problem that I couldn't solve. I needed to read some literature on biomedicine. While I was thinking, a message suddenly appeared on WeChat from Silly Second Girl. Young Master Fang, let's wait until grandmother's health stabilizes before we divorce. This request could not be refused. The divorce agreement is signed. Our assets will not be related to each other in the future. Although I am still married, it doesn't affect the company's listing. Actually, it doesn't matter when we get divorced. Okay. Su Qingyue stared at that one word on her phone and narrowed her eyes. Do you have any other requests? For her to get well and for us to divorce quickly is enough. Su Qingyue frowned. She suddenly felt that this man was unfathomable. The little old lady on the hospital bed looked at me, and then at Su Qingyue. The two of them basically had no communication. This won't do. The little old lady suddenly said, Stinky girl, I want to arrange a job at the SU group for my grandson-in-law. If you two go to work and get off work together every day, seeing each other constantly, won't feelings develop? Su Qingyue paused for a moment. Yes, she was particularly agreeable tonight. The little old lady was worried again. What kind of job should I arrange? An idea suddenly came to her. Grandson-in-law, let me arrange it. Tomorrow, you'll go to work with the stinky girl. I blinked. Yes, because I suddenly thought, the Su Group's document repository is very rich. Maybe it will have the documents I need. Su Qingyue still had a meeting, so after saying goodbye to her grandmother, she led Liu Hua out. However, as soon as they reached the hallway, Liu Hua said, No wonder that man signed the divorce agreement so quickly. It turns out he called the old madam downstairs. This marriage can't be dissolved at all. He looked at Su Qingyue again. Boss, he even coaxed the old madam to get a job at the SU group. He definitely has a scheme. Why did you agree? If I don't keep him right in front of my eyes, how will his foxtail be exposed? A sharp glint flashed in the depths of Su Qingyu's eyes. For grandmother's sake, I can't get a divorce right now. As for whether that man is innocent or not, well, just see what his purpose is for coming to the company. In the hospital room, I was lying on the first sofa. Suddenly, I heard the old lady's voice. Grandson-in-law, I'll secretly tell you a secret. Hearing that, I immediately became alert. Could it be that the little old lady has remembered some important clue? For example, how she came to know me, or how Su Qingyue and I got married. Thinking of this, I asked expectantly, Grandma, what's the secret? The little old lady said mysteriously, Actually, that stinky girl, she has a weakness that no one knows about. I am telling you now, if she bullies you, you can just counterattack. I was a bit dazed. Actually, I didn't really want to know. But the little old lady was very enthusiastic. Don't be fooled by her arrogant and unapproachable appearance. She's actually afraid of cats. I was stunned. I suddenly remembered an older sister I knew when I was a child, who also seemed to be afraid of cats, but she was a child, and Su Qingyue, with that cold demeanor, is afraid of cats? The little old lady asked again, Grandson-in-law, do you like cats or dogs? Dogs. I used to like cats too, but my older sister didn't like them, so I stopped liking them too. Very soon after, I understood why the little old lady asked this question. The next day, on the top floor of the SU group, a cute little Shiba Inu wagged its tail and wrapped itself around me. Liu Hua was speechless. The job that the old madam arranged for Mr. Fang, why is it to take care of this puppy? And Su Qingyu didn't quite understand either. They say that when old people get older, they have the mentality of a child and do things completely based on their preferences. But the job is to play with a dog. This is just too absurd. She ordered, take him to Team 1 of the New Energy Research and Development Department to report for duty. This was something she had arranged beforehand. The New Energy R&D Department isn't involved in the group's core, but it's related to the group's future development. Placing me there, she wants to see what weaknesses I will reveal. Liu Hua immediately nodded. However, I didn't care about these arrangements. I picked up the little dog and walked, following Liu Hua. Does it have a name? No, the old madam told you to name it. I glanced at the scowling Su Qingyue, and then curled my lips. Then let's call it Kitten. You're calling a dog Kitten. Got a problem with that? The New Energy R&D Department is on the 38th floor of the SU group. In the elevator, Liu Hua said, Young Master Fang, the employees in our SU group's R&D department are mostly PhDs. The lowest is a master's from a prestigious university. You're the first bachelor's degree holder. Learn well from your seniors here. It will be very helpful for your future. This was specially arranged for you by the boss. Of course, you don't need to be grateful. This is the boss reward for you for coaxing the old madam. The corner of my mouth twitched. It's really not necessary. Oh, right. About your relationship with the boss. The boss doesn't want to make it public, to avoid any drama when you divorce later. I glanced at him. Coincidentally, I have the same concern. Liu Hua was stunned. This man actually dared to look down on the boss. He wanted to say something more, but the elevator had arrived. My first day at work was quite novel. No one assigned me any work, so I was happy and free. I spent some time teasing Kitten in my private office. The little dog curled up in a corner, basking in the sun, and fell asleep. Only then did I get up, getting up quietly, and close the office door. I was preparing to go to the SU Group's R&D department, to the archives. Only by developing a specific drug for Alzheimer's, and the little old lady's health improves. Can she remember something? At that time, I can also understand this inexplicable marriage with Su Qingyue, and what it's all about. I found a colleague, asked for the location of the archives, and went straight there. The Su Group's archives are on the 60th floor. It's actually a huge private library, only accessible to the group's employees. The books here cover knowledge from all industries, and some of them are scientific research materials that are inaccessible to the public. I was vaguely excited. My intuition told me that what I want can probably be found here. The top floor. Su Qingyue was processing some backlog documents. Her phone chimed. It was a WeChat message from old Madame Sus Flowers Bloom for Fortune. Stinky girl. You must have lunch with your grandson-in-law. Remember to take an intimate photo of you two eating together for me. Su Qingyu frowned and was about to use a meeting as an excuse to refuse when she saw their chat window suddenly flash. Her grandmother's WeChat name changed from Flowers Bloom for Fortune to Frail. Grandma can't be agitated. Su Qingyue was silent. She stared at that name for a long time and finally sighed helplessly. She pressed the call bell on the table beside her. Liu Hua quickly entered. Boss, what are your instructions? Prepare 2 lunch sets and bring them up here. Then Su Qingyue sent a message to 5 Elements lacking iron, telling me to come to the top floor for lunch. But even after the food was set on the side table, the young man still hadn't replied to the message. Su Qingyue stood up. Where is he? The young master? He's in the archives. Su Qingyue went to the 60th floor. She walked behind rows of bookshelves, slowly searching for him. She quickly saw me, and Su Feishu, who was staring at me. I was engrossed in looking for books, and didn't hear my phone vibrate. This library has the most advanced technical materials available today, making me so happy, I forgot the way back. I lingered by the bookshelf, unwilling to leave. As I backed up, I suddenly bumped into someone. Sorry. I turned my head and saw an old acquaintance. Su Feishu looked at me with a complicated expression. Fang Nanzhou, you went to great lengths to please my grandmother. Was it all to get close to my youngest aunt? My expression immediately turned cold. It's none of your business. But Su Feishu continued speaking. For all these years, my youngest aunt has never been close to any man. Don't think you can seduce her just because of that face of yours. She's not that shallow. Isn't she now? Just casually giving you a dispensable job to send you away? I sneered. You mean the fact that you pursued me for so long back then was because you were rather shallow? Su Feishu. I looked at the girl in front of me. She was once my only friend in university. I had also seriously considered her. Even when she said she would give me a surprise at the graduation ceremony, I had once considered whether to accept her confession. I never expected it to come to this. Sigh. Su Feishu, can't we part on good terms? No. Su Feishu's eyes immediately turned red. I know you hate me for proposing to Fang Bodai, but I had no choice. A marriage between wealthy families has to consider many factors. I once tried for you. My mother had already agreed to let me be with an ordinary person, but your status, no matter what, I couldn't marry an illegitimate son. Otherwise, how could I live in the Su family later on? I would become the biggest joke in all of Heicheng. I looked at her. When I was a child, I also felt that my status made it impossible for me to hold my head high. When I left the Fang family, I understood a person's worth lies in their self-respect. I retracted my gaze. Thanks for not marrying me. I wanted to leave, but Su Feishu blocked my path. I can arrange for you to work in our team. Then I'll find someone good to guide you. I know you're very competitive. You're so smart. You'll definitely learn very quickly. Soon you'll be able to handle things on your own. You won't have to live those days of working odd jobs everywhere anymore. Hearing that, I cut off her rambling. What's the condition? You divorce, and follow me. Su Feishu wouldn't allow another woman to share him with her. Just the thought of it drove her crazy. I replied coldly, you're not worthy. Why? Do you love that gangster wife of yours that much? Do you believe it? I can give her a sum of money, or find someone to threaten her, and I can make her leave you. How can she compare to me? Hearing that, I slapped her without hesitation. I was still angry after the slap. I gave Su Feishu a cold, sweeping glance. I originally didn't want to hurt your pride, but if you insist on getting to the bottom of it, then I'll tell you. My wife is prettier than you. Her figure is also better than yours. Leaving those words behind, I turned to leave and saw Su Qingyue around the corner ahead. I was silent. Su Qingyue was also silent. At this moment, Su Feishu stood there, her eyes dark. She clenched her fists. There will be a day when he will have to cry and beg me. She took a deep breath, waited until her face no longer hurt, and then called Fang Bodai. Aren't you having dinner with Dr. Nan tomorrow afternoon? Take me with you. As for Su Qingyue, she used the excuse of finding someone for lunch to take me to the top floor. Entering Su Qingyue's office, she pointed to the dining table on the side. You eat first. I felt a little guilty. With her demeanor, she probably didn't hear what I said, right? As I was thinking, I heard the sound of a phone camera shutter. Su Qingyue calmly finished taking the photo, sent it via WeChat to Frail, Grandma Can't Be Agitated, and then walked over. I knew her purpose for taking the photo, so I didn't ask much. I just looked at the dining table and made small talk. Miss Su's lunch is very lavish. The woman sat down opposite me and elegantly picked up her chopsticks. After all, one must have adequate nutrition to maintain a better figure. I was stunned. My cheeks felt a little hot. My eyes lightly swept over her exposed, snow-white skin, and then I packed up a portion of the meal. Miss Su. I suddenly remembered. Kitten hasn't been fed yet. I'll be leaving first. Then I picked up that portion of food. Thank you for lunch. Su Qingyue's expression stiffened for a moment. My mood instantly brightened. Just like that, time quickly passed until it was time to get off work. I carried Kitten and left the top floor. After finishing today's work, Su Qingyue looked at the clock and stood up to prepare to go home. But Liu Hua asked, Boss, where are we going? Su Qingyu's movement paused. Only then did she realize she still hadn't asked where her grandmother was. She called old Madame Su. Whose house are you at? But old Madame Su's answer was unexpected. I am at the hospital. Su Qingyu frowned. Didn't the doctor say you could be discharged? But this afternoon I suddenly had chest pains again, so I want to stay for a few more days. Stinky girl, are you still coming to take care of me tonight? It's okay if you don't come. This old lady is getting on in years, and there's no one to love me. Just let me stay in the hospital. Pitifully all alone. If I wake up in the middle of the night wanting a drink of water, there's no one by my side. Sigh. It's so hard. I am coming right now. That's more like it. Oh, right. I already told my grandson-in-law. He's also coming to take care of me. You and your grandson-in-law should come together. Hanging up the phone, Su Qingyu rubbed her temples. She naturally understood her grandmother's intentions. Whether she went to the Su family home or came to my place, the two of them would be separated at night. At the hospital, if they both took care of her, they would spend a little more time together. But Fang Nanzhou was a man who already had a girlfriend. Su Qingyu pressed her lips together, wanting to keep her distance from me. But then she thought of her grandmother's health, and finally suppressed her discomfort, sending me a WeChat message. I'll pick you up and take you to the hospital after work. This time, the other party replied quite quickly. No need. I've already taken a taxi and am on my way. He knows his place. He also doesn't cling shamelessly. Just because of grandmother's favoritism, Su Qingyue should have been pleased, but the discomfort in my heart grew a bit more. Actually, I didn't think too much about it. It's just that, before the truth of the marriage is investigated, I don't want to get too involved with Su Qingyu. This confusing marriage is definitely a mess caused by Su Qingyu's side. After all, I am just a small, weak, pitiful, and helpless person. Who would even notice? I held the little Shiba Inu, walked straight into the inpatient area, and headed towards the VIP ward. Not far away, Mrs. Fang, Nan Jingshu, had just finished her checkup. Fang Beta was supporting her arm, and the two of them looked in the direction I was leaving. Mrs. Fang hesitated and said, Is that Nanju? Why is he at the hospital? Is he sick? A trace of anger rose in Fang Beta's heart. The fact that old Mrs. Su was hospitalized couldn't be hidden from the Su family, but the old lady was stubborn and didn't allow anyone to visit. He also came to the ward today, but was turned away at the door. He couldn't even see her. So for Fang Nanju to come here now, he must be here to keep that old woman company. His eyes flickered. He must be here to visit old Mrs. Su. Nanju is so filial. As soon as these words were spoken, the Nanny Nan, who was with them, became unhappy. She frowned. What's so filial about it? I've never seen him visit Madam even once. Nanny Nan is over 50 years old this year, looking about 10 years older than Nan Jingshu. She has always been by Mrs. Fang's side, taking care of her, and has never married. Mrs. Fang treats her like her own sister. Therefore, Nanny Nan's status in the Fang family is very high. Even Fang Bida is very polite to her. When Mrs. Fang heard this, her expression became a little lonely. Back then in the Fang family, Nanzu's life was very pitiful. Nanny Nan immediately spoke up. Madam, are you still speaking up for him? Although, I can't stand Li Ruyan's petty ways either, but she was right about one thing. Young Master Nanzhou is an ungrateful person. It's a waste that you often think of him, worry about him, but I am afraid he has long forgotten you. Fang Beta added, I heard Miss Su found him a job at the SU group. Is that why he's repaying old Mrs. Su? Nanny Nan sneered. Madam even raised him. When he was little, Li Ruyan didn't care for him. It was Madam who breastfed him. Later, it was also Madam who sent him to school. The grace of raising him is greater than the heavens, yet I don't see him repaying Madam, Mrs. and immediately stopped her. All right, don't say any more. Fang Beta said again, Mom, you have a kind heart. You didn't expect anything in return for helping others back then. But there are also people who repay a drop of kindness with a gushing spring. For example, Dr. Nan. You only sponsored him with a little money for all those years of schooling, and he has helped our family so much. 3 years ago, when the company almost went bankrupt, Dr. Nan directly gave us a technical patent, which helped us turn the situation around. Nanny Nan immediately nodded as well. Comparing them like this, Dr. Nan is so much better than Fang Nanju. Fang Beta immediately pretended to be curious. I also want to know what kind of person Dr. Nan is. Mom, can you take me with you tomorrow? Mrs. Fang smiled and patted his head. Okay, I'll take you. They talked as they went downstairs and left from the parking lot. This scene happened to be seen by me, who had just entered the VIP ward, and was sitting on the sofa next to the bed. My eyes followed Mrs. Fang. I could see that Mrs. Fang's face was unhealthily pale. Her figure was also very thin. Fang Bida was saying something beside her, and Mrs. Fang nodded reluctantly. The mother and son acted intimately, until the car drove away, I reluctantly withdrew my gaze. As soon as I turned around, I saw the old lady standing behind me. Grandson-in-law. Who is that person? She looks so familiar. My gaze softened, and I was about to speak when, you two look so much alike. The old lady's eyes suddenly lit up. I remember now. She is your mother.